Hey guys, today we've got a video here from Atari Kanalı, and it's a top 50 NES games of all time as voted by members of GameFAQ. So, let's have a look and see if we agree, what we think, and we can discuss. Let's have a listen. Apparently number 50, based on rankings out of 100, was Earthbound Beginnings. You know what, guys? I honestly don't know this game at all. I mean, obviously I know Earthbound on Super Nintendo. Absolute cult classic. I don't see what the fuss is about, to be honest. It was a bit slow for my taste. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for that. But this NES version, don't know it at all. We got Sweet... Okay. Number 49 is Sweet Home. I think this is a Famicom game, if I'm not mistaken. I think it has been localized in English. But it's like a survival RPG horror game. It's what inspired Resident Evil. I don't know if we can include Famicom games, Japan NES, but if you want to put it in there, sure. What do we got now? Contra Force. I mean, it's always pretty safe to put a Contra game, I suppose, in the top 50. I guess I'll allow it. Fire and Ice. Again, this is another game I haven't played. This list is obviously going to be very, very subjective. I have a funny feeling we'll probably agree more on the top 20 list. Ah, okay. Star Tropics. Star Tropics in number 46. I mean, I'll personally allow this on my list. A little bit different gameplay to Legend of Zelda, but different. You have an overworld map, though, and dungeons and things like that, which are pretty similar. Can get incredibly cryptic. Yeah, it's a good game. I've only ever gotten halfway through it, but it's the first one where I could be like, okay, yeah, I probably would put that in the top 50. Keep in mind, there's like 714 NES games, guys, so I would think you'd want to be really picky with what's in the top 50, man. We got Castlevania at number 45. Personally, for me, that's a little bit low, but hey, at least it's included in the top 50. I love this. Again, it might be the nostalgia talking. Maybe one of the other Castlevania games is higher, I don't know. We got Pirates. Don't know if I would put Pirates in my top 50 list. Pirates is good, though. I mean, I've played the PC version of Pirates Gold and Sega Genesis version. It's pretty decent. Pirate Adventure. I mean, we're going to move through these pretty quick. We got Euphoria. I think this was a late generation NES game here. Not very familiar with it myself, but it does look like a pretty neat platformer. Still, this is a top 50 list. And Destiny of an Emperor. Again, I never played this one myself. But I have seen it floating around. Looks like one of these early Romance of Three Kingdoms experiences. We got Blaster Master in the top 50, but Blaster Master is only 41st. That's quite unusual, I think, actually. I'm not massively familiar with Blaster Master. I have played it very casually on a couple of occasions, got nowhere near beating it. But I think a lot of people might argue that 41st place, can't even talk right now, might be a little bit harsh. Super Dodgeball, you know what? 40's probably a good spot for this. It's a good game. Obviously, it's not a groundbreaking Hall of Fame game, but it's a fun sports game. Getsu Fumaden. I remember using... Okay, I know what the Getsu games are. Again, I think this is Famicom. Gunneck. This is a pretty underrated shooter on NES. I have played this. If you're into bullet hell games, this one's a bit more accessible, a little bit easy to play, at least in the beginning. Turtles 2, the arcade game. Oh, you know what? 37 is pretty reasonable. I'd probably put it a little bit higher, but that's fine. Baseball Stars. Now, there's so many baseball games on NES, I've lost track. I don't know which Baseball Stars people find the best, but there you go. There's a Baseball Stars. Tetris. So, obviously, the Game Boy version of Tetris, guys, is one of the highest selling, if not still the highest selling game of all time. Everyone pretty much knows the history of Tetris. If not, there's movies, documentaries, gaming historian. Check it out. The NES version, and there's two versions. There was a Tengen version and then the other one, which I can't remember who licensed the other one. It might have been Nintendo, but I don't know, man. I think all the memories are going to be from all the handheld versions. I don't know if this original console version would have cut the mustard for me, but it's up there. Tetris is a great game. It is what it is. Now we got Kunio Kun no Ketsu Soccer League, also World Fighting Soccer or whatever it is on NES. I know what this one is. Just had to skip the ads. Now we've got Techno Cup Soccer game. Looks fun, but I wouldn't have put this in my top 10 in the top 50 in a million years. Final Fantasy. So they actually put Final Fantasy, the OG Final Fantasy game, as low as 32. I think that's a bit harsh. It makes me interested to see where Dragon Warrior is going to be. Now, we've got Clash of the Boys Ice Challenge, another River City Ransom franchise sports game. Looks okay. DuckTales at number 30, I think that's a bit harsh. Although we are starting to get into the top 25, so it is going to be very, very subjective. Maniac Mansion, what a great game. I probably would have put it a little bit lower, but definitely deserves to be in the top 50. Doesn't hold up as much as it did in the time, but this kept me busy for many weeks. Ninja Gaiden at number 28. That's probably fair, honestly. Lots of, as I said, nearly 1,000, over 700 NES games. Punch-Out! Oh my gosh, okay, I think everyone in my community knows I'm going to take exception to this. There is no way in hell that Mike Tyson's Punch-Out would not be on my top 10 NES games of all time. I'm sorry, this is also one of my favorite games of all time. I know it's subjective, I know boxing's not everyone's thing, but I mean, look, you see this game and it just screams, Nintendo, Nintendo. I don't know what universe that this could be number 27. But hey, at least it's included in the top 50, right? I think it's very harsh, though. You'll see what's above it. Mega Man 4. I wouldn't have put Mega Man 4 in my top 50. Or if I did it, at the very most, it would have been at the bottom. Mega Man 4 is a fun game, but it's been there, done that a few times beforehand, and probably better. Shatterhand is like one of the more underrated NES action platformers. It's a great game, lots of power-ups, bosses, levels. Snow Brothers. So NES port of Snow Brothers is pretty good. Single-screen puzzle game. Don't know if I would have included it in the top 50. Definitely top 100. Battletoads and Double Dragon. I'll probably allow this one to slide. I do think it's a bit high up. You could put this in the top 50. Tecmo Super Bowl. I think that's a very fair spot for Tecmo Super Bowl. It's a good sports game. Great sports game. They still ROM hack updated rosters to this day. Captain Tsubasa 2. I didn't even know that this was on NES. This must be a Famicom game. They still remake this game to this day. I think there's a PS4 version. Pretty neat. Mr. Gimmick here is a later NES game. And I have tried this. It's pretty fun in small doses. Don't know if I would have put it in the top 50. I think Ninja Turtles 3... probably pushing it, but I mean, I'll allow this one to slide in the top 50. I mean, it's Turtles. It's very hard to not put the Turtles games in the top 50. Little Samson. Okay. One of the most underrated and most expensive NES games you can get. This is a fantastic game. I streamed this for my community just the other week. Different characters you can use. Kind of like Mega Man, you have to strategically choose them throughout the level to navigate it. Many bosses. Sort of like loosely mythology based, I think. Fantastic. I would recommend Little Samson to anybody. 18's pretty generous. But I mean, this is one of the best NES games that no one played. It's so good. Ninja Gaiden 2 got ahead of Ninja Gaiden 1. Most people will probably agree that the second one is better. Myself, I mean, I suck at all the games, so it's not fair for me to have an opinion. Super C, dude, look, you know what? That deserves to be number 16. I wish I was better at the game myself. But, yeah, we got a wonderful playthrough from our friend Josh. It's a great game. River City Ransom at number 15. Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. And they included Tetris on this list twice. I think that's kind of bogus, to be honest. I think if you're going to put a Tetris game on here, they're both practically the same, just licensed different. That's bogus. Tetris twice? Guardian Legend. Okay, we're going to pause this one. Let me know your thoughts on Guardian Legend. A lot of people tell me this is the most underrated game on NES of all time. Fortunately, I never learned how to play this as a kid. I'd always leave it on the rental store. So when I try to play it now, I get very lost and very stuck. But just like kind of like Blaster Master, there's like a hybrid of gameplay styles in this. You've got your overworld levels in this, which are similar to Blaster Master. But unlike Blaster Master, you jump in a freaking spaceship and you go and shoot everything as well. Pretty neat idea and concept. Think definitely ahead of its time. Wish I played it more. Definitely wish I played it more. Castlevania 3 Dragon's Curse. So, a lot of people seem to like Castlevania 3 more than Castlevania 1. Such a big split between where they are on the rankings list. I'm very, very surprised. Castlevania 3 is hard as balls, man. I mean, that's not for the casual player either. I don't even know how people play it, to be honest. But, yeah, it is a great game if you can actually get past the level. What do we got now, Crystallis? Yeah, bit of a cult classic following this game. Overworld RPG style, and it is a very, very good game. And now we're on the top 10, everybody, as voted by members of GameFAQ. So we had Punch-Out twice on the list. So this is confusing. I'm going to guess when this was on the list before, it was the regular Punch-Out with Mr. Dream. And now this one's Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. That might have been where we got confused. I still think it's pretty silly to have both of them on the list. It's just going to confuse people. But the fact that they included Mike Tyson's Punch-Out in the top 10, I would have had it higher. I can't even be mad. I'm not even mad. It is one of the greatest Nintendo games ever made, ladies and gentlemen. I can't even be mad. And I like how they're showing these final games for a bit longer too. We got number 9 now. Kirby's Adventure. Look, I can't be mad at this pick. I'm not the world's biggest Kirby, guys. I do like Kirby games selectively, but not every Kirby game. I think they're a little bit overkill sometimes. There's a lot of newer ones that I like, and Kirby's Adventure, Nightmare in Dreamland, the remake. Anyway, yeah, on Game Boy Advance, another ad. What we got? Dragon Warrior 3. Okay, so I wasn't sure what Dragon Warrior game was going to be on this list, but I knew there would be. Never played the franchise until the modern one started coming out, but I'll let you guys be the judge on this one. But I think Dragon Warrior, from what I hear from the community, is deserving to be in the top 10, at least one of them. Maybe put it in there as a franchise. Super Mario Brothers at number 7. The original Mario Brothers? Oh, gosh. I mean, this is where it's all began, and I think this is fair enough, too, because you're probably going to have Legend of Zelda and Mario 3 further ahead. Now, there's a lot of games I really love that have not gone on this list yet. What do we got? Mega Man 3. I think number 6 is a worthy spot for Mega Man 3. Some will argue that it's better than Mega Man 2. Slide mechanic that they introduced in this is pretty freaking awesome. Adds a new element of strategy. Great music. Underrated. Number 2 gets all the credit for music, but number 3 was pretty awesome too. Contra, there we go. The original Contra. I probably would have had Contra between 5 and 10 as well. I'm not even mad at this. I think Contra is just one of those games that screams NES, NES, NES. I can't even be mad. I don't think anyone in this room is going to be mad. Legend of Zelda only got number 4. Wow, okay. Excuse me, Game FAQ list, sir, people who voted. Okay, the big argument usually at NES is the best game is either Mario 3 or Legend of Zelda. How Legend of Zelda made only... Look, okay, top 5, fair enough. I guess number 5 is going to be very, very subjective. But, come on, man. It's Legend of freaking Zelda. This came out in '86, revolutionized adventure games. If it was number 2, I would have been okay, fair enough. But number 4, come on. Well, I want to know what you think is better than this, guys. Well, what is better than Legend of Zelda? Apart from Mario 3, that's the only game that will get a pass for me. Metroid might be on here, but Metroid I would have put a little bit low. So far, I haven't seen Metroid, Kid Icarus, Mega Man 2, Dragon Warrior 4. So we got Dragon Warrior twice in the top 10. That means some well-known games are going to miss out, guys. That's what's really freaking scary. I think that's why it's a little bit unfair that you included a couple games twice, too, guys. Like 2 Punch-Outs and 2 Tetrises. Come on. Another Dragon Warrior game. What do we got? Mega Man 2. Wow. So I'm pretty sure that Mario 3 then is going to be in the top 10. In number 1, rather. It has to be. What else could be possibly number 1? So, alright, Mega Man 2. What a great game. Or do I put Mega Man 2 in the top 10? Probably. Or at the very least, the top 15. Great game. And then you have one of the greatest NES games of all time. Look, we knew it was going to be Mario 3. No arguments, but apart from maybe Legend of Zelda. But I think the list was missing out Metroid, missing out, like, Kid Icarus. What else do you think was missing from the list? There's an argument that you could probably put Zelda 2 on here. You know, even some older games like Kung Fu, Excite Bike. There is a lot of really good games that didn't make the cut. And, again, it's a subjective list picked by the people. But not happy Jan, as we say in Australia. Overall, interesting list. I want to thank Atari Kanalı for... sorry I don't say your name right. If you're on the Y to the T, I'll drop the link to his page down below. And you can check him out. Hopefully we did your list justice. Thank you for watching. And, alright, we're going to pause there. I'll catch you guys in another reaction video. Thank you for checking out the top 50 NES games of all time, as picked by GameFAQ. Can't even talk. Bye-bye.